Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And I hope you enjoy this action-packed intro, where I use the plane as the bullet. Okay, so here is the game's feature, and my first game I used the most hated thing in the game. This is the R3T20, and well, of course I'm going to make a video on this at some point, hopefully sooner than later. And well, I don't exactly do very well this time, but you're able to get like double aces in this if you're good, and you don't play with your head cut off. And well, this snow really messes me up, and well, this was kind of just a one and done video, and I didn't have really an opportunity to properly record. I just kind of wanted to get this video knocked out, and so yeah, I just kind of did a few one and dones with some of the CAS options I like, and one of them is the IAR-81C. The IAR-81C is a Romanian plane. It's got two 20 mils, the German MG-151s, with very good HE filler, and it's also got two 7.62s. But it's very good at ground RB because of its CAS choice. The suspended armor. It's got two very nice rockets, and they're fairly large, so even if you get a hit on a KV-1, the HE filler should kill it. And then on top of that, it has a 250 kilo bomb, and well, it's got a weird release mechanism which makes me miss more than I hit, and so it messes with me a lot, and well, I just don't get to fully feature it, let's just say, but it's still a nice little CAS. Here I see a Cromwell 1, and well, I thought that my 20 mil could do something to him with 53 millimeters of pen, but for some reason none of the shots penetrated him, and well, that was a bit unfortunate. And I guess I'm just used to the HVAP rounds on a German 20 mil, but yeah, I don't exactly get that on a 1980s, by the way, wheeled like 90 horsepower Ferrari thingy. It's more like a Fiat. So yeah, this thing was an experimental 1980s anti-air with a high rate of fire 20 millimeter cannon. It's got 120 ammo per drum, and it's well, yeah, it's got this 20 mil with 53 millimeters of pen. It's I believe, the second fastest vehicle in the game, behind the Japanese Type 93, which is basically a Jeep with a SAM launcher. But keep in mind, this thing is 4.0. Yeah, it's fighting early to late World War II vehicles, and yeah, it's kind of hilarious. So here I'm surrounded. Luckily, I managed to get the barrel off of that, off of the Sherman, and here I try and get I try and kill this Stuart, but for some reason only one of my 20mm rounds penned his side, and it did absolutely nothing. Well, actually, it got his machine gunner orange, if that really matters. And then a move that I was not expecting, he shot my barrel, well, I guess that was just interesting. And then the Cromwell that I killed earlier, this being the most hated vehicle in the game, comes in his premium Hellcat and bombs in anti-air. Something that he could have just as easily 50 cal and saved his bomb for a more important target, maybe. So now I've got, there's an F-22222 to my left. I've got a German Yak 1 in front of me and an HE-111 behind me. And yeah. So this is the IAR. It's a very fun aircraft, and even though it's 2.7, it's still very capable at 4.0, and probably one of the best choices. And if you have the BF-110 G4, the Italian BF-110, I think that it would pair up with this perfectly, along with the R3 AT-20. The new German vehicles, such as the the Stug 3G and the Panzer 4G, and then maybe a P40, the R3 T20, and yeah. So that it's got a very nice lineup to support it, as well as the 3.3 lineup, and along with the and the Beretta. Here I dropped my bomb, and I thought it was gonna be spot on, but I forgot about the the release mechanism underneath, as you can see here. And then I missed with my rockets, as you'll see here. That's because I'm used to aiming RP3s or HVAR rockets, and so I aim off to the right a little bit, but I forgot that these rockets turn into each other. And so really all you have to do is just aim directly at the target, a little bit above it, and these rockets do a wonder. And after I played this match, I played the IAR a little bit more, especially when I was playing with Shade Slayer, and yeah, I managed to hit the rockets almost every time. And then the bomb, it's hit or miss. I'm kind of just bad at this bomb. I'm used to just bombs that just drop normally, such as on the F6F. Here, I take advantage on accident of the new HE changes. So they recently made HE changes, and it's basically the bane of every single open-top vehicle. It's got an overpressure mechanic. And I don't know how, but even my 20 mils overpressured him. And especially with open tops, I don't know why they just get absolutely destroyed. So now I'm on the tail of a P-38E. Very, very nice aircraft. In fact, I actually use it in the next clip. So, forward to that. Here I'm on the tail of a Yak 9, and it's a very formidable opponent. It's fast, it's got a very good turn rate, climb rate, all of it. The only thing that it has a problem with are its guns, because these Shivaks suck. So now I'm on him, but there's also the Yak 1, the German one, with me, and well, this guy, I think he has his engine out because he's just not doing well. I get a nice crit on him, but for some reason I don't get credited with the kill. Maybe it's just the other yak one did more damage. Probably shouldn't have gone for the kill steal, but yeah. And so now I see this giant bomber. It's a Year 2, and the yak 1 sees him first. Yak's a lot faster fighter than me, and so that's that. And then I get the full onslaught of 50 cows. For some reason, there's an M13 and an M16 on the ground, and they try to focus me. This Hellcat that I was on, he pancaked into the building, but somehow got his bomb off and killed the Panzer IV F2. Sorry about that, Panzer. So now I'm getting shot at by a whole bunch of 50 cals, and then I get a pirate snipe by an M13, which is the 1.3 version. I'm a bit mad about that. So here I'm in my little Stuart, and Stuart's very fun. I get scout on that. I started recording the partially through my little Stuart gameplay. Again, I don't do very well in this. If you want to see tank gameplay, just skip on to the next part, where I use a bit of Panther stuff and basically play with my head cut off, since it is very overpowered right now. Yeah. So the Stuart's a very fun tank. It's got a 37mm cannon with 87 millimeters of pen. It's got scouting. It's fast. It's got a lot of stuff going for it, and yeah. So I'm just trying to lob little 37s around, and it's an up tier for this thing, but a down tier for my CAS choice. What I chose to use for CAS is the P38E. Now the P38E is a twin engine fighter, and it's got 450 cals and a 20 mil. Now at 3.0 it is very capable. Here I don't know how, but my 37mm only hit his commander, and yeah, it didn't do any sort of damage after. So I got a whole bunch of scout kills or assists, and now my P38 is 300 spawn points. So yeah, it's super cheap. So I saw that there was an enemy aircraft, a little dot way off in the distance. I don't know if you can see it. And so I climb, try and get the advantage on him. So this is the P38. It's got 2 engines. It's fast, very fast for 3.0. 450 cals with a lot of ammo, 500 rounds per 50 cal, and then a 20 mil with 150 rounds. The 20 mil is it's good for dealing with harder targets because of its 33 millimeters of pen. It's one of the highest penning 50 cal or 20 mils on aircraft at this battle rating. Most other aircraft have around 26, 27 millimeters of pen. So yeah, here I use my weight, and yeah, actually only my weight since I'm on 0 throttle, and get up to almost past 600 kilometers per hour. That just shows you how fast this thing is. Imagine if I were at 100% throttle. I see this. I thought it was an air fighter, so that's why I climbed in the first place. It was actually just a Stuka, and I light him up and completely destroy him. It was a 1.3 Stuka R. Didn't stand a chance. And if you have noticed, I keep on accidentally deploying my gear, and I don't know why. It's just that day when I decided to record, I kept on accidentally tapping my the G key on my keyboard, and that's my keybind for gear. So yeah. So now I'm diving. I see this Panzer, but he gets killed before my 50 cals hit him. So now I pull off, accidentally hit my gear again. I see that there's a whole bunch of enemies around there. I check and see that there's no enemy aircraft coming in, and loop back around. Our team is doing very well. We pushed up to near the bridge, just next to the spawn, and I get a nice burst of 50 cals into this Panzer III and light a fire on him. And so, yep. Now I see the Stug 3A. Doesn't have very much ammo. Stugs are very, well, the Stug 3A is a very easy target to kill. And yeah, well, I managed to get his gunner and commander. I don't know how I didn't hit his gunner, or driver, but that's okay. Now, the P-38E is a very fun CAS choice, because although it doesn't have any suspended armament, it's got plenty of good penetrating guns, and they're all in the nose, which means they're very, very easy to kill. Or very easy to aim, sorry. So here I overpen the Stug, or the Stuth 42G. It's like the howitzer version of the Stug. And, well, I managed to red his gunner with a 50 cal shot, so I assume he had an upgraded crew, because 50 cals hit pretty hard, and it only turned his crew red, so that was interesting. So now I'm diving back down. I saw this BF-110 and I was chasing the I-153. The biplane, as long as he sees this guy, should fly circles around him, and he does. So he loops back down, and the BF-110 tries to chase him. I get a nice few shots on him, crit him. So yeah, now I'm on his tail, and I forgot about his rear gunner. He starts shooting back at me. I light a fire on him, and instead of turning out of him, I turn up and around, and so he gets a few more hits with his rear gunner before eventually burning out. So now I've got a bit of an orange or a yellow hole. This guy gets killed before I could start shooting at him, and so now I have to loop back up and around again. So I'm up in the air, and I see this Black Panther 1. I didn't realize that these things reload so quickly. So he finishes his shots, I start firing, boom! Literally completely destroys me. That was my mistake. But I still had a fairly good run, and I managed to kill him, so that was fun. I've got a backup P-38E, and they've still got one cap, although, unfortunately, ticket bleed is a big problem. Games last too short. So now I'm my second P-38E, and I saw an enemy aircraft, but the game was almost over, so I decided to dive instead of climb. So all we have to back me up is an IL-2 and a Lag 3. IL-2 is an attacker, but it's still able to fight sometimes. And the Lag 3 to earlier a Russian fighter. So I'm flying 560 on the deck, and yeah, this aircraft is a lot of fun. 3.0, I bet you can imagine what happens in Air RB, especially since I get an air spawn versus a ground spawn. I'm on this guy. I didn't know what it was, but figured it out after I completely light him up. And I knock out some of his tail controls. It's a very low tier Frenchy fighter. This IL-2 manages to get him to crash, and I get a kill for it, so that was nice. And then I loop up and around. I see this guy, and instead of turning back over, I just try and get a few shots on him. Game's over, and I pancake. So yeah, that's the end of the match. And so now here's a bit of tank gameplay. as well as CAS, because this video is on. It's on kind of just my typical gameplay, what I do whenever I'm just playing on my own or with Shade Slayer. Usually it's just a spawn of a faster vehicle and then a CAS choice. So yeah. For Germany, I like to use the Panther A and Do 335 combo. Panther A is fast, but it's got armor and a good gun. It's really overpowered right now. And yeah, I don't understand why, but we've got people like this. I don't know why, but there's just some people who are completely oblivious. And well, this Panther A next to me is an example. He just kind of turns his turret away from the T-14, gets his turret crew knocked out, and yeah, that's that. I get hit in the side. Now I'm the oblivious one because there's a little South African vehicle there. But the Tiger, well, yeah, the Tiger definitely a bit of an overkill, just shooting 88 at a little armored car. Now I've got a red commander and a dead communications operator, radio operator, machine gunner, whatever you want to call it. So I get a nice little repair. Upgraded crew helps that out, since my crew this is my highest level crew at 41. And that just shows you how much I use this tank. And well, I made a video on this a little while back, and yeah, it was even then I still did fairly well, but I only got 6 kills, and that was from camping. Now I can get 6 kills just driving with my head cut off, basically. It is just that fun. And I managed to get this poor KV1, or KV1's this 5. I managed to, well, flick shot him right in the little turret cheek, completely destroyed him. Someone took a shot at me, but it hit the KV1's dead corpse. And yeah. Here I see this Jumbo. I don't want to alert him, so I don't get on the cap. And then I get the nice little lower front plate of the IS-2. That's where you want to always hit one if they're right front on you. The Jumbo gets lit on fire, and then I managed to finish him off. So yeah, now I'm with this other Panther A, and he's only got 2 crew, as I remember, because he got his entire turret crew knocked out. I don't know why. German mistakes. So now I move up, and well, it can't be just a Panther A video, right? Well, if you were thinking that, you are correct. Good old EBR 1954. The other OP, well, actually, at 5.3, it's kind of okay, so. Here I've got the Do 335B2, and, well, this is just a one and done, so it's not the best. I managed, my record for this Do, and actually it's my record for CAS in total as well, 10 kills. I just get a double ace in this vehicle. It's just that much fun. It's got 3 30mm MG 103s, and each with 95mm of penetration. That's a lot of penetration. It's got, and that can go through any roof of any tank, basically. You might struggle with the mouse, but hey, the mouse is on your team, and it's 7.7, So yeah, now I'm diving. It's a very fast aircraft. I'm 0% throttle, and I'm at doing this just because, well, let's just say it likes to compress. Here I heard an aircraft. I turn on the throttle again. I see the aircraft, but he's laser focused on an enemy. Fortunately, he gets a kill on a Tiger H1. I find out that it's a P-40 F5. So 2.7 aircraft, 30 mils and 20 mils or not friendly to one of those things, and I immediately pilot snipe him. Probably with the HVAP just completely destroying him. So yeah. Now I loop back around. I see this KV-1 spawn in. And I know he's got spawn protection, and I just wanted to check that. So I just spray a nice little spray into him, and luckily his spawn protection literally just ended as my shots came in. I completely crit him. The ME410 deals with the DCA 40, and I get a lot more hits on this KV-85. I light up a fire on him, so he has to restart his repair, and he's only got 2 crew left. So I see this Sherman, and I line up on him, crit him, knock out 2 crew, but he also gets killed by the Tiger H1. I loop back up again, and well, match is basically over. We got 2 Tigers, or a Tiger and a Panzer IV-H, just kind of driving through their spawn, no problem. I find this M19, he's literally the last guy. So I loop back up, and well, the ME410's already taking shots at him. M19 has spawn protection, and gets a nice fire on the ME410. But he can't rotate his gun fast enough to get shots on me. I get an ammo rack on him. So, yeah. That's the game. Particularly annoying. That's all I've got to say. And I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. And check out some of our other videos. We try to post once a week. Shadeslayer and I alternate. And,